Hello, good morning. Today we're going to be talking about an important topic that, like us as translators, are really worried about, which is the future of the translation industry using appropriate technology or artificial intelligence. First of all, there are certain aspects that we need to keep in mind. Like nowadays, how is our world with the use of artificial intelligence nowadays? It's the market moving rapidly or slowly? What are the companies that have more revenues? And some other aspects that we need to keep in mind. Second, the future of the translation industry with the artificial intelligence, which is the main topic of this discussion. And finally, we'll be talking about the risks of the use of artificial intelligence, taking into account that there are advantages of using this technology. On the other hand, there are also these disadvantages and risks that we need to be really focused and pay the most attention we can. Well, nowadays, how does our work with the use of artificial intelligence? It is really important to consider that artificial intelligence is not a matter that affects us recently. It has affected us from a lot of years ago, more or less 70 years ago, when the first machines translations started to implement in the world times. Nowadays, with the implementation of ChatGPT and also the CAT tools like SmartCat, MemoQ, Trados Studio, and implementing to the market, there is a really big worry about that if they are going to replace us, if artificial intelligence will replace human translators. Well, I want to consider certain advantages about this technology. Eh, they improve efficiency and productivity. Of course, at the time you translate, it's important for the companies, for your customers, that pay who pay you for the translations, even if it is legal or a finance document. They really want the translations to be sent on time. They take into account all of those aspects at the delivery of a translation project. And the use of artificial intelligence is a really good help, is a really good aid for translators to reach their objectives and their purpose in the company they are working of if they are freelance, the same thing applies. Also, the translation might be accurate, but we need to face with some challenges like dialects, cultural context, idioms. If you are translating a document for a British company, you need to take into account the cultural context, the type of customers they are, the type of customers they have, the dialects, the idioms, how and everything. Well, in the US market, everything works a little bit different. The customers aren't the same. The country isn't the same. The language, the English language it's a little bit different that the English British people talk. So we need to take into account that there's a lot of a lot of work to be done in the matter that we really need to care about. Also, artificial intelligence is time saving for the translator. As I said before, it helps to save a lot of times because you upload a Word document, and the artificial intelligence helps us like to organize the documents, to maintain the same format. Instead, if we do those tasks in our own pace, it isn't the same. They're always faster and deliver jobs quicker than us. Also, they are not a replacement of the human translators. I want to point out that there are a resource, they are a help for translators. And also, finally, there is a lot of demand in the market. A lot of healthcare industries, a lot of pharmaceutical industries, a lot of language industries hire translators to help them with their projects. The future of the translation industry, according to the survey made by Nincy, the revenues of the top 100 ranking positions from 2018 to 2023, those statistics showed us that the revenues have increased over the years, and it will continue to increase because of the globalization and immigration processes, because there are a lot of migrants who go to another country to look for better job opportunities. It's a good way to help them with translation procedures. Well, actually, definitely the market is growing. And as we can notice in the second statistic, the service that that is implemented the most are the translation and the localization processes, and it will continue to roll out over the years. Finally, I want to point out the risks of the use of artificial intelligence. There are three risks according to a lawyer from Spain who declares that there's something related with confidentiality, because we don't know where the data is going. We just write on the artificial intelligence, but we never know that they are going to keep that information safe, or they are going to post it in some specific place. It is something unsure. And as we know, as translators, we need to sign out a document of confidentiality when we're hired for a specific translation job for a company. We need to respect those kind of things. There is also excessive creativity. As we know, artificial intelligence is not perfect. There are also things that that they need to work out, that they need to work on. They can invent some information that they tell us can be fake, can be valid. And also, I want to point out the coherence. Is the loyal the information they are giving to us, or they are just taking the information from several websites, several resources, several documents, and just give us the information they consider? Well, there are just a lot of things we need to work out. But actually, in conclusion, the market of the translation industry for language services, it's growing. Is something that is on demand. Companies need to hire translators even in their own countries, or international employees who can work as translators, because the market is growing. As we can notice in the 2020, there was a research made that for the COVID vaccine, a lot of translators were hired to translate pharmaceutical documents, medical documents, in order for people from all around the world who speaks different languages that are different from each other, needed to access to that information. And the market will continue to roll out. Fortunately for us, um, artificial intelligence is a help for human translators. They are not going to replace us. The companies are not thinking about hiring only artificial or computer assistant programs for the translation projects. They are also taking into account a lot of the human work. And well, this is something really good for our job.